The surface of Mars has long hidden secrets beneath its iron-hued dust. Yet nothing could have fully prepared scientists for what the Mars rover recently uncovered during its latest mission. In a quiet, unremarkable crater previously thought to be just another geological formation, the rover made a chilling find, one that may challenge everything we thought we understood about Mars, and possibly the wider universe. There was no grand announcement. Instead, the truth emerged slowly, transmitted through streams of data sent across the vast distance between Earth and the red planet. As the implications became clear, even the most experienced researchers were shaken. This wasn't a newly revealed rock layer or more evidence of ancient water. It was something deeper, more startling. The rover had been exploring an area known as Ayala's Palace, conducting a series of underground scans with its ground-penetrating radar. This technology gives scientists the ability to look beneath the Martian soil, revealing hidden layers and buried anomalies. During one of these scans near the base of a weathered escarpment, the radar detected something unexpected: a geometric shape with perfect symmetry. This formation stood apart from typical natural features, which tend to be uneven and shaped by erosion over time. What the rover found had sharp edges, evenly spaced segments, and a rectangular frame, all signs that pointed toward intentional design. It didn't look natural, it looked built. Further analysis revealed this wasn't a lone structure. Beneath the surface, the rover found an interconnected system, tunnels and chambers laid out with a clear architectural pattern. The complexity and order of the network ruled out natural origins. At first, scientists considered whether this might be debris from a prior robotic mission or a rare geological formation, but no known human technology could account for the scale or precision of what had been detected. Then the rover picked up abnormal magnetic readings from certain points within the network. These magnetic pulses weren't chaotic, they repeated in a pattern. Detailed analysis showed that the oscillations followed a mathematical sequence, specifically the Fibonacci sequencer ratio often found in living organisms and in ancient human constructions. This raised a staggering possibility. Not only was the structure artificial, it may have once functioned as part of an active system. Someone or something had designed it with intention. The tunnels showed signs of use. Smooth grooves in the flooring, chemical discoloration, and irregular temperatures hinted at prior activity, perhaps machinery, motion, or even habitation. The long-dismissed idea that Mars once hosted intelligent life suddenly became difficult to ignore. This wasn't about hints of ancient water or microbes anymore. This was evidence of intelligence capable of architecture, engineering, and mathematics. What made the discovery even more unsettling was how deeply buried the structures were. The geological layers above them suggested they had been underground for millions, maybe hundreds of millions of years. That timeline predates human civilization by an unfathomable stretch. The questions began to mount. Who created these structures? Where did they go? Are they still out there? And most disturbingly, why were these structures hidden so deeply? Adding to the mystery were chemical readings from one of the innermost chambers. The rover detected traces of organic compounds, complex hydrocarbons, never before observed on Mars. These compounds closely resembled those found in extremophile organisms on Earth, the kinds that survive in our planet's most hostile environments. This led to a startling consideration. Perhaps intelligent life once lived here, and perhaps some biological entity still lingers underground. Not surface life, which couldn't survive the radiation and freezing temperatures, but something adapted to the darkness beneath Mars' crust. As more data arrived, the nature of the chambers became clearer. They were not just living spaces or storage vaults. Several rooms contained objects resembling devices, constructs made from unknown metallic alloys fused with minerals unique to Martian soil. Though inert now, their form suggested machinery, levers, conduits, and systems akin to circuitry. If reactivated, these devices might hold knowledge that surpasses human understanding, perhaps knowledge humanity isn't yet ready to comprehend. These machines bore no resemblance to anything humans have created, nor did they resemble the crude tools one might expect from a primitive civilization. They were advanced, deliberate, and alien. One of the most haunting moments of the mission occurred when the rover entered what appeared to be a central chamber. Embedded in a pillar of dark, basalt-like rock was a carving, not a script, not symbols from any known language, but patterns mirroring mathematical ratios, spirals, geometric tessellations, and, at the center, an image that resembled an eye. Not a biological eye, but a stylized one, possibly a symbol of awareness, observation, or authority. Once the image was transmitted, a wave of urgency swept through the scientific community. Experts from many fields, linguists, cryptographers, psychologists were brought in. The implications were deeply disturbing. If the structure was a hub or a repository, who or what was it meant to communicate with? Radiation around the central chamber pulsed rhythmically, not aligning with Martian days or solar activity. Some theorized it could be a countdown or synchronization with some distant event, perhaps orbital. The notion that this structure might still operate in some dormant form left many scientists uneasy. If it was a beacon, what was it signaling? If it was a vault, what was it guarding? The speculation outpaced the answers. Then came another revelation. The rover's audio sensors detected a low-frequency hum, faint and constant. It wasn't geological or mechanical, it was tonal, almost musical. Spectrogram analysis revealed harmonics that echoed the golden ratio. Again, it pointed to intention. A sound that had endured for millions of years suggested something still active. Something still listening or waiting. This discovery shook scientific disciplines to their core. If intelligent life once thrived on Mars, then Earth might not be the sole origin of intelligence. Some began re-examining the theory of panspermia, that life on Earth could have originated from Mars, transported by meteorites, or even by design. Could humans be descendants of Martians? The timelines didn't align perfectly, but the possibility could no longer be dismissed as fiction. Intelligence, it seemed, might be a cosmic phenomenon, not just an earthbound miracle. Mars was no longer just a dead planet, it was a place of forgotten history and long-buried purpose. A silent guardian of truths that could either elevate or endanger humanity. Psychologically, the impact was enormous. If we are not alone in intelligence, what responsibility do we carry in uncovering that past? Are we seeking understanding or trespassing? Perhaps the most unsettling discoveries weren't in what was found, but in what was missing. In several chambers, there were indentations in the dust shapes that implied something large and complex had once been there, machinery or perhaps living beings. Their outlines were too vague to identify, but their absence was undeniable. Had these objects been removed? By whom and when? The materials left behind posed another set of riddles. Metallurgical studies revealed elements and atomic arrangements that cannot be reproduced with current Earth technology. Their atomic structure showed intentional manipulation at levels beyond modern capability. This wasn't just ancient tech. It was advanced in ways that suggested a fundamental rethinking of physics or the bending of it entirely. These were not primitive tools. These were artifacts of mastery. The implications of this complexity were staggering. Were these creations warnings, messages for the future, traps even? If a civilization had such control over their environment, what caused their disappearance? Did they annihilate themselves, or was there an external force? Fear grew that Mars' silence might not be from natural decline, but from something far more deliberate, perhaps even punitive. This was more than a scientific achievement. It was an existential reckoning. The rover, for all its capabilities, was limited. It wasn't built to confront mysteries of this scale. Scientists began calling for follow-up missions urgently. Manned expeditions or advanced autonomous probes, capable of deeper exploration and analysis. Time might be running short. If those signals were part of a cycle, then that cycle might have consequences. The machine, if that's what it was, might not remain dormant much longer. What was unearthed on Mars wasn't just a ruin. It was a revelation, one that broke down the boundary between science and myth, between what we know and what lies beyond. Mars is no longer just a question of habitability. The deeper question now is, what happened there and should we continue to dig? This find has forever altered humanity's perception of our place in the cosmos. Mars is no longer just a red neighbor, it is a vast tomb of mystery, echoing with a history we have only begun to uncover.